Hello, I am the Convolutional Neurogamer, and this is AI War 2 with the Spire Rises DLC. So, I've been involved in some of the testing of this DLC, and actually have a bit of experience with some of the stuff in it. So what I'm going to do here is show off the new Scourge faction, as well as some Spire stuff. But it's probably going to be fairly Scourge focused, especially early on, and then later on it'll become more oriented to the Spire as the Spire stuff's power becomes more extreme. So what the Spire will do is give me a large set of powerful ships that I can use, but the AI will respond with considerable vigor to the presence of these Spire ships. So I plan to use these ships in order to counter the Scourge. The Scourge are an intelligent adversary that builds up very quickly, at least on higher intensities, and will become extremely powerful as the game progresses. In a regular game, intensity 10 is, I think it's probably possible, but it's extremely difficult. It's, similar to a difficulty 10 AI in terms of difficulty, even when the AI it accompanies is only like difficulty 7 or something. So the plan is to start the game with the Fallen Spire, try to get some Fallen Spire stuff up that I can use to then fight off the Scourge. In the interest of fighting off the Scourge, I will be playing on this X map. Now, the benefit of the X map here, and I wanted to try to make it so that I didn't have any of those extra, make it nice and neat. I haven't worked out the exact planet count. Looks like I need one less. The benefit of the X map is that I will be able to cut off the Scourge. The Scourge will expand throughout AI space, building their little bases, which they will then, every single base they build will produce more Scourge units, and they will all level up and become more powerful, and then the Scourge can upgrade themselves on all the different bases. So the more bases you have, the more powerful the Scourge becomes. To make them somewhat manageable, I am going to cut them off to 1/4 of the galaxy by starting off up here in Denning, and then moving to take Hecate early on, and then fortifying that to an extreme extent to stop the Scourge, wherever they end up being, from breaking through into the other 3/4 of the galaxy. However, getting into the actual part of the galaxy that the Scourge is in will probably be quite difficult, because it'll be quite close to the AI homeworld, which is where the Scourge start. So, that's the plan. Cut them off, build up Spire stuff until I am powerful enough to beat the Scourge in their quarter of the galaxy, which should allow me to be a little bit slower than I would have to otherwise be. As for the AI, I'm going to, I think I'll go with, what would be interesting? Peacemaker would be rather tricky with the Fallen Spire, since I have a lot of big ships. I think I might just go with Swarmer. Swarmer will be quite fun and quite difficult. I'm just going to go with a 9. That's not too hard, but with a difficulty 10 Scourge, a difficulty 9 should be extremely difficult. The Fallen Spire scales up to truly insane at 10, so 7 is probably about as high as I want to go. If you go 10, I'm not sure that there's any way to win Fallen Spire at 10 without doing some extreme cheese with player-allied factions. So, for my actual fleet, I'm going to need to be able to break out and do things quite quickly. In the interests of that, I think I'll go Raid Fleet. Raid Fleet will allow me to, basically, I don't care about anything in the Raid Fleet except for the daggers. The daggers will speed boost my ships, and that will mean I have a quick response force that can deal with things. Particularly since the Spire ships are not very fast, having a quick response force will be very helpful. In terms of this, I think I'm going to need something with some very powerful turrets. Probably the Eclectic? Yes, I think Eclectic will be my best bet here, because I'm going to need something to deal... Some plasma turrets will help me deal with some of the gigantic ships that the AI will be throwing at me due to Fallen Spire later in the game. Finally, Combat Engineers and Rejuvenator Factory are just helpful to have. Okay. Spire Vs Scourge. Let's go into the game. I'll just double check everything's right. I'm here. There's base. X, 85 planets. The galaxy looks nice and neat and symmetrical, which if I'm going to do X, I may as well have it symmetrical. Oh yes, and I always turn that off. Yep, so that should be good. Everything else is on default. So the plan here is to do some basic game and some gear and gameplay and some post commentary as I go. That should hopefully allow me to improve the quality of what I'm doing a little bit more than I have before, because some bits it's easier to comment out on the fly, some bits it's easier to do it cohesively later on. Now, right at the start, my goal is going to be I need to take Hecate. Hopefully I have something useful here. It looks like it's a bit mediocre. The V-Wings maybe would be a good pickup. I'm going to be caring a lot more about turrets in this, because I'm going to need to do a lot of defending as part of the Spire campaign. So these things matter a lot. Nucleophilic turrets are actually going to be a really handy pickup, because big things use more than 7,000 energy, so that's going to be a lot of damage for me, and I already was thinking about using Generalist Tech, so that's a great one to find. What have I got in terms of fleets? Fusion Concussion V-Wing. Oh, that's a fantastic pickup too. Yes, I do want that, but I won't be doing it immediately, because if I give the Scourge even a moment, they're going to break through. Neatly enough, the Scourge are over here. I can tell because this is a Mark 7 planet. That means it's near the AI homeworld. So this is where the Scourge are going to be. They're going to be starting somewhere in this section at the AI homeworld. You won't normally be able to tell, but the X map is basically a bit of a cheese against the Scourge. It's the easiest way to play against the Scourge is on an X map. Actually, most of my testing was on Octopus, but the latest versions of Scourge 10 would be extremely difficult even with Octopus 8 maps, which are probably the second most viable maps for playing the Scourge, at least with the strategies I have developed. Autocannon mini-pods, that's some more nice Generalist tech. A Blade of Gatling, more Generalist tech. Yeah, this is a very Generalist oriented map, so that's going to be a big focus for me early on. There's a lot of Generalists I can pick up. I can get some more Raiders over there, so that will help me with speed boost. So, move in, Generalist tech. Any of these Generals? I don't think any of them are. Oh, no, of course, there's V-Wings. So yes, okay, I can pick up some extra V-Wings. I'll just make a start save in case I completely screw something up early on. And then we're going to tech up some... Oh wait, I can't actually take up Generals because I don't have any. I'll take up Generals the moment I actually grab some. For now, I've just got raid ships, I believe, so I will just be building that up and then using them to take this. This should be very easy to take because it's just, you know, a basic planet. I am against difficulty 9, so they will also be hitting me quite hard quite early, so I am going to need some defenses on my homeworld ready. I'm going to take up my actual command station, because that's will give me some extra money early on, which I will need to be able to do a quick enough start. I'm going to focus my defenses over here under the assumption that the early hunter fleet will be coming from here, so that's going to be most of my problem. The extra force field I get from taking up and having those force fields Mark II will go a long way to defending my homeworld from these early assaults, which is usually very important on these higher difficulty settings. Difficulty 10, it's much more extreme. This is pretty mild. Difficulty 10 will be like 40 threat of Hunter Fleet will be coming in right at the start, which is much more hectic. You really have to be paying attention to deal with that. So yeah, I'm going to build up a lot of defenses here, and then I'll bring back my fleet to deal with anything that pops in from any of the other wormholes, which, well, my fleet and these battle stations and things. It's quite likely some things will, but that's for, you know, I can worry about that as it comes up. So just going to let this build up. I'll increase this 3 times speed, which is my normal play, and then move in to Hecate. Alright, so this one is not quite going to go to plan. So I start out, you know, as you would expect. I just move in to clear out Hecate. Eventually, here we go. And, you know, it's a swarm AI, so there's a lot of stuff. I do a lot of kiting. It's... yeah, but, and then I have to come back, clear out the Hunter Force. That's a little bit awkward, but I managed to pull it off. And the Warden's also making a nuisance of herself. And everything seems to be going fine, but something is going to go terribly, terribly wrong in just a moment. And, where is it? And there it is. Where'd those chaps come from? A ton of Mark 7 ships pop up. Clearly something's gotten dragged through the wormhole and attracted a whole bunch of the guards of that Mark 7 planet, and there's not going to be a whole lot I can do about this, as you will see. I try my best to recover the situation, but Mark 7 ships are strong, shockingly enough, and they just basically, despite all my, you know, cheesy repairing of the force fields as they go down, they just kill my homeworld. So, on to take 2. So, for this take, this attempt, I've realized, oh yeah, there's suppressor frigates and things, they probably popped through, grabbed my stuff, and killed me. So I reload, and I have to start from the very start, but that's fine. I can deal with that. Now I just need to rebuild my defenses, move on, and do that whole thing again. That's why I've been going quite so quickly, because, you know, not much point spending ages on that. So, rebuilding, setting things up, and shortly I do the assault again. So, looking a little bit more detailed this time, you can see I'm just attacking the turrets, the guard posts, sorry, one by one, trying to kill them as quickly as possible, because otherwise they will just constantly stream. Because then I clean up a few of the ships that have been released. Then I, of course, have to come back and kill the Hunter Fleet, which always will come in. That's just an inevitability. When you're playing high difficulty, the Hunter Fleet will come and attack your home world really early, and you just have to be ready to kill it. It's pretty mild on difficulty 9. It's a much more intense attack on difficulty 10, shall we say. And then we come in, we clear out this one as well, and now things are much better. It's going to take a while to just clear out the Wardens. The Wardens are a pain in the ass, and I just keep kiting, try to make sure that I'm only engaging with their faster or units, and then eventually I kill it, drag the Warden fleet right to the other side of the planet, and eventually I will just plonk down the military command station and bring in my guys to build it nice and quickly. That gives me a nice little damage bonus, which military communications are great for. And that's where I'm going to pass you back to pre-commentary me. So, bye. Okay, so that's that planet clear. Now I'm going to build up all my defenses here. So my focus is going to be on stopping things coming out of Mithra and getting into anywhere else. Because this is going to be such an important choke point, I'm actually going to tech up this command station once, and then that will give me a significant boost in the firepower I have available here. Now, it's not a huge planet, unfortunately, which is going to make my job a little bit more difficult. But I am just going to throw everything I have here in the hopes that that will be enough to hold the AI back. Later on, I am going to have the convenience of having Spire stuff here. You can see the first relic has actually spawned, so that's going to be a big focus of the near future. But right now, I am just going to have to use conventional weapons to deal with the AI. Yeah, I guess I'll just put them for both force fields over there. There's a temptation to put the force fields over the two wormholes out, because I don't want them to be able to get through there. That's a big priority. If the Scourge gets through there, it's probably a loss. Scourge is powerful. If they build up through the whole galaxy, they will just have so much stuff that I won't be able to deal with it. Okay, so that will do for now. I don't want to completely use all of my resources on this. And I should also be able to hack the ARS shortly. I'm going to wait until I've finished cleaning up this place, and I'm also going to just tech military command by one just to make it that bit tougher. As I say, defense is a much bigger part of Fallen Spire games, so putting some science into it is much more advisable than I normally would suggest. Like, normally I'm very reluctant to put science into defense like this, but this is a different situation. So, I will... my next objective is probably going to be to pick up some extra generalist stuff now that I've secured things from the Scourge, and to pick up the relic on Trenco.
Hackers report success.
Trenco is this planet over here, which isn't particularly on my way to anywhere else, so I probably will pick up Slip first. Yes, I think I'll have to pick up Slip and then go Trenco to get the relic, and then the relic I'm going to take all the way back to Hecate. Your first Spire City will always be the most powerful, so building that at an important planet like this is a great idea. So yes, I will pass on to post me for a while as I discuss what happens. And hello. Okay, so we're just going to clear out this the remainder of this hacking response and get the first general ship, the V-Wings. That will allow me to actually tech up the V-Wings, as you can see here, and then I can move on to taking the fleet I need, which also has more generalist ships, which will make me much more capable of taking out the AI in future. So once again, we've got to deal with all these swarms. This time I'm a little bit more conservative with how many I kill at once, because they've got sniper ships, they'll be hitting me everywhere. So I decided I want to clear out a lot of those before I move on. I accidentally trigger this one anyway early, so I just move over to it and kill it off. Tritium Sniper also goes, and I think that was Tritium Sniper. But because those, and once I've gotten all these sort of guardians out of the way, I'm able to just finish clearing out the planet, and it's not really a problem. Easy planet to clear. Much easier to do this stuff once you've got some high mark ships to help you out. Once that's done, I quickly can bring in my support fleet in order to do the rebuilding of the planet and start setting up some defenses, which I will speed through a little bit here. And now there's just moving fleets around as well, trying to get all the general ships into my main fleet, and then I can attack this planet here. This planet's going to be no problem at all. I have a ton of firepower now with all the generalist ships that are at Mark 4, so easily able to take out everything. Here, it starts running away at this point, in fact, and that's kind of annoying. They'll come back to haunt me later, but, you know, it is what it is. So, finally, I can actually get on with Trenko. I need to clear out these planets for help with the relic later, as I will describe in some of the pre-commentary. And yeah, this is just, it's pretty routine. I can't really say much about it. It's all the same. Just kill everything and take the stuff. But at this point, I do get attacked on my home world. That distracts me. I check. There's not much to take out of that advanced research station, so I'm just going to ignore that and then run back and defend the home world before I can actually start the relic run. And the relic run I will pass me. Okay, with a little bit of work, I have done as advertised. I'm going to grab that additional generous upgrade. I'm not going to worry about a tech lab in this case. I just need the boost in power right now. I don't know if there's a general check lab I've already scouted, but yeah. None of the stuff on this is appealing right at this moment of the game, so my next step is going to be to just grab the relic. So, let's do the relic chase.
Hacking initiated.
So, relic spawns, you just tell it to go where you need it to go, and it will start going over there, and the AI will spawn a whole bunch of stuff to try to kill it. This stuff will spawn in various places, so some of it's going to spawn over in this part of the galaxy and charge through Hecate, and some of it's going to spawn much closer and charge at the relic. I basically cleared the path here to make, to reduce the extent to which these forces are there's a bunch of existing stuff on the planet. It becomes very difficult to deal with, whilst if you've cleared out the planets on the relic's route, then you've got less to worry about. Unfortunately, it spawned a little bit more. It spawned rather a lot on going past my homeworld, which is not that well defended, so I'm a little bit worried about that. Though they seem to have speed boosted the relic, so actually it's already here. That helps. Relic's just going to go here and build a city. Where are you going? There. There we go. Okay, and here we go. Now we have giant death lasers. So, what we've got spawned here is the Spire Cruiser, which should help me immensely in cleaning up all of this nonsense with its giant death beams. There we go. So, Spire Cruiser is this big monstrosity. It's got just tremendous stats. Spire Coil Beam, 120,000 DPS, which is obviously insane. It's only 600 speed these days, which is not great. Its range is also a bit mediocre, so you know, you got to deal with that. But the sheer amount of damage and health this thing has means that it is an absolute monster and tremendously increases my power. In addition to that, I also get the Spire Galactic Capital itself, which is a very, very pretty thing as well. I really like the graphics that we've gotten for the Spire stuff. We've got a Dire Stealth Guardian, but that isn't going to cause any much trouble because the Spire Galactic Capital also has giant death lasers. So boom, there it goes. That's going to help immensely, and it's also got quite a substantial range, so it's going to help all my defenses even now. So I am in a much better place for defending against anything the AI throws at me, which is good because the AI will throw things at me. The AI gets much more powerful for every Spire thing you build, but so does your Spire. Basically, there's a bit of exponential growth that goes on. The more Spire stuff you have, the more powerful you get in an exponential manner, because like once you get like Seven Spire Cities or something, this turns into a much bigger version of this, and then you get like you get like 4 of these and 2 of the thing that's bigger than these. It's just completely ridiculous. And then for every Spire City, you get even more. And then, in addition, on the actual Spire Cities themselves, you can build all of this stuff. There's a bunch of powerful things here, like this reactor, which generates 1,000,000 energy, which is obviously pretty crazy. This plasma driver, which only deals 2,000 DPS until you realize that it does 100 times damage against big stuff, meaning that it's going to be dealing 200,000 DPS, which is, again, quite ridiculous. These mining nodes that produce 3,000 metal per second, which is as much as a zenith matter converter. So, again, completely off the charts for a normal game. This is the stuff that's going to let us deal with the craziness that Scourge 10 is going to be throwing at us this game. And also the craziness that the AI will be throwing at us, because the AI has stuff that makes all of this look wimpy. Fortunately, it won't be throwing that stuff at us quite yet. For now, I'm going to need to build the basics. These buildings, you see, technically it says I can build, a whole bunch of all of them. In reality, I have city sockets, so you can see when I hover over this, sockets used 0 of 4. I don't think we ended up with any. Oh no, yes, you can see times 4. I'm guessing that, yeah, that'll be the number of sockets you have left on this city from the galaxy map, which is quite handy to be able to see that. So what I'm going to need is a shipyard, which is the only shipyards are able to build Spire ships. So you're going to need your Spire fleet to be near a shipyard to build your Spire ships. Additionally, shipyards come with great whopping cannons on them, laser cannons, just like everything else the Spire has. So building up your Spire city will give you a whole bunch of stuff. I have a Mark II homeworld, so I've got pretty decent metal income, which will let me actually build these things. And then I can build these neural nets. These give you Spire frigates, which are roughly equivalent to the Mark I variant of the Lost Spire frigate, i.e. the, powerful capturable, and you just get another 2 of them for each of these. So, I can build a huge number of them. So we're going to start by bringing in all my engineers, get this one guy up to being fully constructed. And here we go. This is the other part of this. We got debris. These debris are on Bolter and Penth, which are going to be possibly tricky. If there's one over here, there's not much I'm going to be able to... Oh, not over here. If there's one over here, I'm not going to be able to do much about it because I can't get through Mithra. I've just got to hope that they are on useful places. Bolter. I would like to go to Bolter anyway because it's got a data center, so that's not a bad spawn, other than that I've got to get through Selden. But with the power of the Spire Cruiser, that's a lot more viable than it normally would be half an hour into a game. And then Penth. I need to find... Unfortunately, for some reason, it doesn't highlight the planets when you're hovering over here, so it does take a little while to actually locate it. You actually have to look at the name. You just hold control to get all the names to show up like this. I probably should put in a suggestion for that. Oh, Penth. That's ideal. That is exactly the planet I wanted to take anyway, because that will give me a whole bunch more V-Wings. So that's going to be where I go first. What are the debris? The debris are remnants of the Spire relics and things that spawn throughout the galaxy. If you take them, you will get bonus science. If the AI takes them, they will turn them into giant death machines. And then there's a bunch of things that can happen if other factions take them. Not sure why these remains aren't being rebuilt. like they should be.
Taking fire behind enemy
There we go,
lines.
finally. Anyway, so yes, this guy will absolutely melt everything. It's going to get a little bit confused by all of these things, but you look at how it melts those. It's ridiculously strong. Still, my normal conventional fleet is still relevant. Fortunately, they all just retreated to Penth, which is exactly where I'm going anyway. But the thing about debris is you don't have very long to get them, so I'm going to need to keep moving if I want to actually be able to retrieve these debris before they're gone. So I will be moving through here. And here we go. Spire debris. Some leftover Spire artifacts, you can hack it for science. If you don't get to it in time, the AI or some other faction will use the technology. The AI will get a one-off bonus, other factions will get a permanent buff as they actually integrate the tech into their systems. I have never actually seen that because whilst I was a tester of the patch, most of it was testing Spire 10. So, not Spire 10, Scourge 10. So I have limited experience with some of the Fallen Spire stuff. So analyze debris. Once I get my transport in, Spire cruisers cannot hack. So I do need my transport here to be able to actually do this.
Initiated.
I can start the hack, which will which will prevent the AI from getting it and give me stuff. So as you can see, these are powerful, but they're not invincible. They can't just kill everything. So early on in the Spire, you might need to give your Spire stuff some support from your more conventional fleets. And you also need to pay attention to your homeworld getting murdered. So my conventional fleet will have to handle that while the Spire goes back. You guys are going to come over here too. Unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention because I was busy explaining, so I'm in a little bit of trouble. Hopefully they will let me be a dodgy bastard and repair some of these. There we go. Oh, it was a usurper wave? When did that... There's another one coming in. I'm slightly confused by what happened there. Anyway, I can bring this guy in and he should be able to clean up all of that stuff quite readily. And get rid of the usurper. Okay, over here, I have indeed cleared out the debris and taken control of this planet. Let's grab that stuff. And I have another 2,000 odd seconds to get to the other one. That's going to be tricky. I may not be able to actually pull that off, but that's going to be the plan. And eventually I'm going to want to eliminate all the wormholes back here, so I stop getting exo waves, anti-spire waves down here, because obviously my conventional forces are going to really struggle with them. That might be something to do with this big force that's come over here. It might be a bunch of anti-spire stuff that's come in, but we will see. Regardless, the Spire Cruiser will be able to clear it all up and solve that problem. In the meantime, I need to get the Spire base up. I need to see if I can grab the relic that's way down here and finish taking control of this planet. So I will pass you back to post me if I haven't already, and talk to you soon. Yep, this is going to be a chaotic one. So let's fast forward. Going to do some saving, make sure things, make sure I can revert if needed. I don't, if I recall correctly, but you know. Okay, so just clearing things out, stopping these things from killing my homeworld. That got rather close, and that's going to happen a few times. There's a lot going on, and I admittedly lose track of the waves that are coming in on a few occasions. Building up here needed, you know, just the normal thing. switching around the fleets to make sure all my best stuff is in my main fleet. I've still only got enough stuff to really fill up one fleet, and I only have the one speed boosting ship, so, you know, that just is the way it is. More fleet admin, trying to get both of my fleets on 4 and my Spire fleets on 3. I'm a little bit late actually getting these buildings built, but finally do actually put them down. And now it's time to start moving in. Now, Spire is going to make short work of this world here. It's only a Mark II, easy time to deal with. It's going to become a little bit more difficult, I swear. Oh yeah, more rebuilding, need to do that. So, yeah, clear it out, take it all out, easy peasy. Now we can get on to where things get a little bit more tricky, because they've started attacking my homeworld again, and I pull back, but I eventually decide I need to pull back some other stuff, I believe, on that one, but for now I also want to take out this, so, you know, timers makes things a bit hectic. And I also do need to keep moving just because I'm dealing with the Scourge. But something goes wrong here. Again, I didn't spot what did it, but something got dragged onto the adjacent Mark 6 planet and grabbed a whole lot of Mark 6 ships, which are going to make this whole thing much more tricky. And they actually were able to cripple my Spire ship, which we will see immediately triggered a 65 strength counterattack. So, yeah, don't let your Spire stuff get crippled if you can possibly avoid it, but fortunately, Spire stuff is also pretty good at dealing with the results of them getting crippled. So, in a minute, I'm going to pop onto the adjacent planet, and we're going to see an absolute horde of response ships ready to go and fight me. So that's not ideal, and, you know, there's more little attacks coming in everywhere. I need better turrets to make the AI send fewer of these. At the moment I have to keep moving around and defending against every little one, which is part of what's getting me confused. You see, 170 strength. This is actually where I realized, oh, I attracted a whole bunch of stuff, didn't I? And the Spire is just going to get wrecked. I kill a whole bunch of it, but everything dies. So I have to retreat. Fortunately, the city is actually able to deal with the hordes of AI ships that come in here. Spire cities are really, really strong. The Scourges come in there, you can see, but they're not a big deal in this situation. But I run out of money. I decide I have to blow the signs on upgrading my homeworld one more time. Debatable whether that was a good move. Because eventually, of course, the homeworld income is going to be pretty trivial next to the Spire stuff, but I feel like I can't afford to waste more time, and, well, whether that's correct remains to be seen in future videos. Even for post me, that is in the future. So, eventually I clear out, I deal with these denning attacks. I have to just keep defending, using all this time that I need to be spending on attacking, but I've still got a little bit more time before the debris are gone, which is nice, because back in, believe me when I say you had a much shorter timer back in some of the earlier iterations of this, so having time is always nice. So, back in, most of the stuff did just attack me, so I am actually able to clear this stuff out now. With my regular fleet as well. And sorry, I am trying to work on all the ums and ahhing, but it's just a bit... Well, I just did it then, even when I'm thinking about it. It's just one of those habits that's hard for me to get. So, on to the actual planet. I clear out the Dire Guardian here, and... yeah, Spire ships are powerful. I actually have all my frigates now, so that makes it even stronger. And we're able to, well, I'm able to take out all of this stuff relatively smoothly, but I don't remember. I think I am just able to go straight on and clear out this planet as well, which is good to see. So, yep, clearing it out. Spire laser is good. I just do the hack immediately and just deal with all the drones coming in, because that I am actually losing slip in the meantime, but I don't actually care that much about slip because, you know, there's nothing permanent that I can lose on it. Once I've done the hack, I just kill the Dire Guardian because I don't want that coming after me when I'm not expecting it. Kill the data center because that gives me stuff, and run away. So that's basically it for this post. I will be handing it back to Preemie shortly. So bye for now. So the odd thing is I am actually very worried because an hour is a long time into a Scourge 10 game. The Scourge are going to be very nasty at this point, so I am a little bit scared of how hard it's going to be to hold Hecate in the not too distant future. So I am going to need to I'm going to need to grab this Global Command Augmenter, keep progressing in these Fallen Spire to grab more by grabbing more relics. The relic that spawned is a search relic. This requires me to check a few planets and it will tell me how far away it is from each planet. I'm really hoping that it is in my starting cluster rather than out somewhere in the wider galaxy. That'll make it a lot easier to retrieve the relic and build it in a new place. The plan would be to build it in one of these ending slots, one of these dead ends, to make it a bit easier to defend. If I take this, I want to take this Global Command Augmenter as well, and defend that, and obviously defend it. I'm probably going to hack it in this case, actually, because it's not going to be a terribly easily defensible position, and I want it fairly early. The nucleophilic turrets will help greatly with defense on Hecata, and making some of these little attacks on my other planets a little less annoying, which is always convenient. So yeah, that's what my goal's going to be for the next video, because I am going to wrap up there. I hope you have enjoyed. Until next time, I've been the Convolutional Neural Gamer. Bye.